On today's edition of Top 5 Tuesday, we celebrate the birthday of Shigeru Miyamoto, whose work was a huge part of childhoods around the world. You may not know his name offhand, but you definitely know his work. Shigeru Miyamoto turning 69 years old today. He has been a designer with Nintendo since the 80s and has designed some of your favorite video games of all time. So I'm going to count down my top 5 Shigeru Miyamoto games, and right away I would like to send out an apology to Legend of Zelda fans, my wife included, because I never got into Zelda as a kid, so there are no Legend of Zelda games on this list, despite the fact that, yes, it is one of the biggest franchises of all time, and he is the lead designer on that one, but no Zelda games on this list for me. Let's get to my top 5. At number 5, FZero was released in Japan in 1990 and here in North America in 1991 for the Super Nintendo, one of the greatest racing games of all time. It's futuristic, it's colorful, it's fast, it's fun. FZero, great game of my childhood, one of the best Super Nintendo racing games of all time as well. That's number 5. At number 4 from 2015, it's Super Mario Maker. Not because I enjoy playing this game, but because my son enjoys playing this game so much. And it's been so fantastic to be able to hand down a like from my childhood to his, as he's a really big Mario fan. And this game allowing you to create your own levels on Mario games throughout the years. You can go back to the 80s and make it look like Super Mario Bros. The original. You can make it look like Super Mario Bros. 3. You can make it look like the Mario games that are out now for Wii. You can make it look like the Super Nintendo games. He just has a whole lot of fun creating levels out of his own mind, and us being able to share a love of Mario games is one of my favorite things. So Super Mario Maker, that comes in at number 4. At number 3, it's Duck Hunt from 1984. It was originally paired with the Super Mario Bros. Game for the release of the NES in North America. Was a huge hit. One of the games where you got to use the light zapper. It was a whole lot of fun. But of course, what does everybody remember from this game? That dog. Every time you fail, that dog there to laugh at you, and that dog continues to be a big part of Nintendo games now, even appearing in Super Smash Bros. But Duck Hunt from 1984, that's at number 3. At number 2, it is Baseball, released in 1983 in Japan for the Famicom, which was the NES. And when it launched here in North America in 1985, Baseball was one of the titles that you could get right out of the gate. A fantastic game. Miyamoto, a baseball fan himself, when he was designing games in the early days, he said he wanted to have a baseball game on the Famicom, and it became a huge hit in Japan and here in North America as well. As a matter of fact, they said it was one of the keys to the system's success in North America, that you had the traditional American pastime available to play on the NES. Baseball's a whole lot of fun. He did a great job. It's simple, but it's fun, and that was the key to the early Nintendo library. Baseball from 1983. That's at number 2. At number 1, it's got to be Super Mario Bros. From 1985. How many hours of my childhood were spent trying to guide Mario and Luigi through dungeons and castles and different worlds, all in an effort to try and save that princess. This game was a huge hit when it came out, one of the best-selling games of all time, over 50 million copies sold, but also seen as one of the greatest games ever made, and quite possibly the magnum opus for Shigeru Miyamoto, and that is saying something for the guy who also created the legendary games like Donkey Kong and The Legend of Zelda. But Super Mario Bros., the original from 1985, that will stand the test of time as one of the greatest games ever made. And it kicked off Super Mario as a character and a franchise. He had appeared before in an arcade game called Mario Bros. He was Jumpman in the Donkey Kong series, but this was the first game that gave Mario a backstory and gave him a world to live in, and it just kept growing from there. And even today, Mario remains a huge part of pop culture, and it all starts thanks to the work of one man in Japan, Shigeru Miyamoto. So thank you very much for all those great memories of our childhoods. Happy birthday, Shigeru, and hopefully many more years of Nintendo on the way. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Top 5 Tuesday. We'll be back again next week with more. Happy gaming, friends.